I saw a couple of Dr. Phil shows about uh, fathers and incestuous fathers and their daughters. Um, I can't help wondering if maybe there might be more here than just let's look at the freak show, and more going on than individual pathology, which, these cases are treated basically as individual pathology. When something is very common, then there might be something more going on. There might be certain factors in society as a whole that leads to it. Okay. Now, when I was reading descriptions of child molesters, and they were kind of concentrating on those who had abused family members, they said they are disproportionately likely to be men who are outwardly religious and who are workaholics. That kind of, leapt out at me. In conservative religious groups, this might to some degree be a reaction to the extremes of the feminist movement. They tend to pound on traditional sex roles. They tend to pound on, male leadership or man being the head of the family. Okay. Workaholic also suggests that he's, being over enculturated into the male role. And so the tendency in conservative religious groups to, pound in this area might automatically lead to this. They don't want it to, but it might be, a foreseeable but unintended consequence of, concentrating on things like wifely submission and male leadership. Okay, that's one area that could be a larger implication. Now, the other area, which is more modern but doesn't contradict the first one, is that in our modern culture, have we created such a sexual free-for-all by basically, saying everything's okay as long as it's consensual and between adults, that we actually have a tough time keeping that line bright and keeping that line together. How we made people want to violate the taboo of incest because it's the only taboo there is. Or have we given people the idea, have given people, or especially men, the idea that, anything they want to do is okay? Does the, glut with easiness with which pornography is available lead them to see anything and everything in sexual terms, including their own children? These two things are not contradictory. They could be working together. But I do think we need to, if something is very common, we need to look at the possibility that there could be larger implications, and there could be aspects in our culture that are inadvertently working to promote it. I've suggested before that in some of these religious groups, when you have an all-male hierarchy and women in serving positions, that's a recipe for sexual abuse. And I want to go further and see if that's, something that could be contributing to incest. And also, if we, in the modern world, have we created a sexual free for all and made our young girls more vulnerable than they need to be? These are things we need to look at. And because, again, if something is very, very common, I don't think we can necessarily dismiss it as just individual pathology.